In this demonstration, we will show how SQL Server 2012 feature transparent data encryption actually works. But before, let's say a thing or two about architecture and about basic concepts. So, TDA is introduced in SQL Server 2008 and actually protects data at the rest by encrypting data on the disk. So, what does this mean? This means, for example, if someone detach your database or get in possession of the backups of your files and try to reattach them and restore them in his or her unsecure compromised environment. Yes, we can have encrypted data in our table on columns, but when someone actually get in possession of our data and backup files, most of the security concepts are just fall and crash down. Yes, we can have some columns of really sensitive data encrypted, but whole database structure and bunch of other information are still not encrypted. So this is really big security hole and security issue. And TDA is actually solve this problem in really good way. What actually protects? Protects, of course, data files, log files, backups, and tempdb for all operation. What is not protected? Replication data and file stream data. From my perspective, file stream data is really big issue because file stream is really cool feature, and it is used by most of the people who needs to deal with binary large object data. But I really hope that next version of the SQL Server will fix this issue, and I will explain why it is not possible from this point of time. And also, TDA does not provide encryption across communication. We need to use SSL for this. So, why TDA is not supported in file stream? Let's see. TDA is just one layer above of physical storage. So, when any request is tried to be put in database, insert or update statement, is it encrypted in TDA and stored in the physical storage. When someone is requested information from user side, I don't know, application or Management Studio, TDA will decrypt information and pass it to the upper layer and to the client application. And this is the transparent part. Client actually does not have a clue what is actually going on, because all encryption and decryption techniques and operation are going transparent in this layer. On the other hand, file stream actually goes around buffer proof because performance improvement, and it is not possible in this point that TDA implement this feature because TDA is relied of the requests from buffer pool. So how we can turn on TDA? Quite simple, with alter database and set encryption on. But before this, there's a couple of requirements, and first is database encryption key in the master database and certificate in the master database that will be actually used to encrypt our user database to protect it from stealing backup files or data files. Demonstration scenario is following. We have two instances, and on one instance we will create database keys and turn on TD feature. Then we will create backup of the database and detach database, and we'll try to restore it and reattach it on another, for example, compromised environment, and we will see how SQL Server will handle this security breach situation. Okay, these are my two instances, and I will now go to the step-by-step and explain what I'm doing. First part is to create master encryption key in the master database, protected by some cool password. Then we will create certificate TDA with some subject, and that certificate is actually in the master database. If you look in this certificate view, we will see our TDA certificate ready to be used for some cryptographic operation. Okay, now I will create our demonstration database tddb, and we will create database encryption key with algorithm AS256 encrypted by server certificate TD. So I will now to try to explain in more details. Now I will use symmetric encryption. AS256 is actually standard, not algorithm, and that algorithm who will encrypt my database will be encrypted with TDA certificate. So this is an important piece in the chain. If we, for example, pull out this TDA certificate, all story about decrypting without native environment, it just fall down and actually prevent stealing our data. Okay, now SQL Server say, okay, you turn on the feature and please immediately create backup of your keys and your certificate, because if you lose it or try to reattach it somewhere else, it will be quite useful. Now we will use alter database statement and turn on TD feature on our database. Okay, let's see what we have here. As we see, database is here. I click it, open it, and there is no anything that is showing to us that this database is actually encrypted from the user perspective. Okay, now I will try to create some backup. Backup file, just for demonstration purpose, to see what will happen if we steal backup files and try to restore it on some another location. Okay, backup files are done, and now I will deattach database. For example, I'm a user who will steal database from my native environment. Dropping connection, okay, and TDA is out of process. Okay, let's now go in some file system stuff. This is my data folder of first instance, and I will now, let's say, copy all these files on secondary location. Let's say x5 compromise instance. Okay, we have files there, and now I will steal the backup file from native environment and also copy it in compromise environment. Okay, let's look at it again. Now I actually steal data and log files and backup files from native environment. Now I will try to reattach them in compromised environment, and we'll see what actually will happen. First, let's try to attach database. Okay, we have it, tddb. Say okay, and see is actually stopped before attaching. Just say that he cannot find the server certificate with thumbprint, etc., and so all operation is just fall down into pieces, and thief just go to the brute force attack and do it for thousands years, or try to get certificate, but that is the really hardest part. And let's see what will happen if I try to restore database from the backup that is, I hope, encrypted. Let's say device. TD back is here. Okay, and let's see, there is an exception that say cannot find also server side certificate to actually decrypt all data and restore it in your new environment. So as you see, TD is actually works really good. So if you're trying to protect your data at rest, from my point of view and from my perspective and from my experience, there is no need at all to go with some third-party solution and just implement this feature and everything will be fine. Thank you for your attention.